Studied a range of modules from first to final year. One of the modules that's really stuck out with me is the Working for Justice module. It really helped you with CVs and what was, sort of certain jobs looking for on applications, and then that spurred me on then to do a criminology work placement, which I've just completed this year, which has helped me develop a range of skills that I feel will be very important for jobs when I start applying for them in the future. So
that placement sounds terrific. I mean,
it was terrific.
In placement with?
Yeah, it was a Christian charity called Walk Ministries, and they're set up to help ex-offenders who found God in prison and help them reform their lives and rehabilitate them. So they house them there, they give them courses, they make them work, and then eventually they move them on then to hopefully then owning their own business or just staying employed in a company that they're happy with. And it's a really great bunch of people that work there. I was very nervous to begin with. First day wasn't the best day. I was very nervous, didn't know what to say, didn't know, what the right things were to ask people. And they just threw me into the deep end straight away and got me to interview one of the guys that is currently in the walk programme. And I didn't know what to say, I didn't know what the right things were to ask, and it was a very awkward interview. And then just, each week got better and I got my confidence. I feel when I first started I had a lot of stereotypes and a lot of labels for these ex-offenders, which you don't intentionally do, but I really got to know them as human beings and that they didn't have the greatest start in life, and just giving them a bit of care and love and push in the right direction, and they're just like us really, so yeah, it was really good.
I mean, was there anything in your criminological studies that made sense of doing that kind of job and working with
definitely sort of the theories of like childhood upbringing and the sort of the people they hang around with. A lot of them came from poor backgrounds and not great upbringings, and some of the stories were really, really, heartfelting and, did make me quite sad and feel quite lucky with what upbringing I had. So definitely that aspect came into it. Bad upbringing is going to lead them to sort of bad choices in life. A lot of them didn't have, the decisions or the opportunities to do education or go into sort of law-abiding sort of life. So that definitely came into it when in placement.
Has this inspired you to think about working in the field of resettlement?
Definitely. Before starting, I had a rough idea of what I wanted to do. Originally, I thought I wanted to go into probation, but working with this organisation has made me realise that actually more of a hands-on approach, working with ex-offenders, rehabilitating them, trying to get them, to make the better choices in life. And I think I've narrowed it down to sort of working with youths now, which has led me to get my voluntary experience when I go home, working with the local youths where I live.
Well, again, that's fantastic.
Yeah, I'm
have you
really
set
lucky.
Something up in your home area?
Yeah, so I'm working with the local youths in my area, I'm working with the local council, and I'm working with a bunch of children that have either got parents in prison, they've been in trouble with the police, kicked out of school, or even young carers, and just mentoring them one-to-one, just giving them that little support that they need to help them sort of finish their education and get them a step further to where they want to be or where we'd like them to be. So it's been really good to have that as sort of a voluntary experience. So it gives me the skills that I need to then pursue that as a career further down the line. I think it is again sort of the stereotypes, the labels that we put on people that by giving them a label, they live up to that label, they think that's what they're only good at. So for example, an ex-offender, for example, you just think, they're not worthy, that's what they're always going to do, they're going to re-offend, they're not nice people. And by having that labels, it does limit them to what they can do in society. And I feel that's had a massive impact on me, because seeing that firsthand and understanding that theory has made me sort of a little bit more open-minded when it comes to meeting those people and not having those barriers up and those stereotypes, to be a little bit more open and approach them in a better way. Did a dissertation which was separate to my work placement, and I also did a report. I had to do a research report for my work placement, so it had to be something that would benefit the organisation that I could also get marked on. So with regards to the research report, we decided to research whether there was any sort of information that didn't cross over correctly. So I did interview a lot of the guys that were in the programme, making sure the information that they received, they understood clearly. By doing that, I've actually helped Walk develop some further things in their policies and in their programmes that they give to the men to make it a little bit easier in understanding for the men, the next ones that come in. Regards to my dissertation, it was very different. I looked at racism within the Metropolitan Police, and I analysed the black officers, the recruitment, the training and the victims, and I looked at them in more detail and wrote a dissertation on that.
And what did you conclude?
There is slight improvement. The government like to look at numbers and statistics, so in their mind more black police officers and more ethnic officers are being recruited. However, within the force there's still a lot of work that needs to be done to stop the racism and the discrimination within the force. But I came to the conclusion that more research needs to be conducted in more detail in certain sectors to come to a rounded conclusion whether it has improved. Yeah.
Sounds extremely interesting.
It was extremely interesting. I thoroughly enjoyed writing it, and the research. With the modules that you choose, some stuff doesn't come, is interesting to you. But with the dissertation, you can really tailor it to what you're interested in and what you want to look into. So when you're writing, 10,000 words seems a lot, but when it's something you're really passionate about and really interesting, it's just so easy to write. Words just flow out of you onto the paper. So it was really, really interesting to research and write.